Series. Now, of course, the 5 Series, it's been around for 44 years. It originally started back in 1972. And yes, we do have one of the original cars here. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But I've got to introduce Dan. Dan is here with me. He is our BMW genius. Dan, just explain to us, what is a BMW genius? What does it take to become a genius of BMW?
A genius is a person who will know pretty much everything you need to know about a BMW. So you can find them in the BMW Centre or online, and they're there for you before, during or after you buy a car. So they can help you decide which BMW suits you best. They can help you with any queries you may have over technology. Say you want to pay your smartphone but are struggling a little bit. And the great thing about a genius is they're under no obligation to sell a car. The pressure is absolutely off. You know, we're here just for information.
Brilliant. Well, I'm going to be using you a lot in this session. And for any of you watching live at the moment, please do send us your questions and we can quiz Dan at the end and see if he really is a genius. Dan, let's take a look at this incredible. It's the E12. It was the original 5 Series. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, the E12 launched in 1972. Wow. At the Frankfurt Motor Show. But 1972 was a big year for BMW. BMW M was formed in the same year. Now, the E12 launched with an impressive 130 horsepower 4-cylinder petrol engine in the 520i. And albeit this is the 1976 version, which is facelifted, the car was an icon immediately. It brought the new series nomenclature that we're familiar with today and represented a new era in design, comfort and driving pleasure.
It really is absolutely stunning. It takes me back, well, not to 1972. I don't think either of us were born then, but maybe you were. But let's talk about the brand new BMW 5 Series. I mean, we talk about things like lightweight architecture, the xDrive, the advanced driver assistance systems. But what does all that really mean?
Yeah, this new car is 100 kilos lighter than the previous 5 Series.
Wow.
Yeah, it's enormous. So obviously that's great for handling, for performance, for fuel consumption, keeps your emissions low.
If only you could just lose 100 kilos like that, wouldn't it be great?
Moreover, we've got xDrive now in 5 Series in the UK. That's available across all the key engines. And the driving assistance systems, well, they're fantastic. If you option Driving Assistant Plus, you get lane keeping assist and active cruise control with stop and go. When they work together, actually the car's capable of autonomously driving up to 30 seconds, hands off the steering wheel. So you've got that peace of mind if ever you need to.
That's quite exciting. That's very exciting. Now, it looks fantastic from the outside. The most important question is, do you have the keys? Can we get inside?
I do, but it's not any old key.
Oh, really? Wow, that's quite a big key.
Yeah, that's the display key, which you'd get with the car as an option. And this has all sorts of...
That does as much as my phone does.
It is. It's like a smartphone for the car, essentially.
Wow.
So you can see the car's locked, the windows are closed.
So if you suddenly, you leave your car, you go off and do shopping and you have that panic attack.
Exactly.
Did I lock the car? You can check.
Yeah, look as simple as that.
Fantastic.
So you fuel
Undisrupted shopping forevermore.
Exactly. And even the 5 Series, you could actually remotely park the car on it. So I could be stood out here with you now, press a simple button and pull the car, say, forward in and out of a garage or a tight space.
So ideal for the terrible parker.
Exactly.
Which is not me, I'd just like to agree. Shall we get inside?
We should,
Shall we see
definitely.
what's going on inside? Because it looks absolutely stunning and I can't wait to really take a closer look. Wow. Well, immediately, I mean, it's incredibly spacious, isn't it? And comfortable. Isn't it? Look at us.
Yeah.
Reclining, enjoying this. Gosh.
It is. And I think that space, even though the car hasn't really grown in size, is from this lower dash now. We've got a freestanding iDrive display. Yeah. And a really great feature of the 5 Series as well is this wireless charging. Now, of course, when you've got a key that's essentially a smartphone, it does need charging, but conveniently, there's a small tray there. You can place in.
That's incredible. So can you wirelessly charge, obviously you wirelessly charge a key, but could I use my mobile phone?
Absolutely, yeah. Just place it in, no wires, no fuss.
Brilliant. This is revolutionary. And what about the dashboard? Because, I mean, that looks fantastic.
It does, doesn't it? Especially accented by the ambient lighting again, which is standard on the car, as is professional navigation.
Yeah. It's
a really lovely place to be, isn't it?
It is great. And I'm, imagine I'm behind the steering wheel. Heads-up display, has that changed at all?
It has, yeah. It's now larger, crisper, and even more colourful than before. So you've got all sorts of information at your disposal. So your current speed limits, your navigation instructions, you can cycle through your phone book, accept and reject calls. Basically, anything you would do on the central display can actually be moved to keep your eyes on the road. So it's a great safety feature as
Now,
well.
I've also heard about this gesture. Is it true that just with a gesture, you can either accept or decline a call, or
That's
even
right.
change the volume on your
Yeah,
radio?
you could accept or reject when a call is coming in.
That is brilliant.
For radio, you've just got a simple wrist motion and
Wow,
yeah.
so you can be like, no, Dad, I don't want to speak
Exactly.
to you right now. That's fantastic. I love it. Well, I think we've had a fantastic highlights tour of everything that the 5 Series Dan,
has
first
to
of all, tell us, what is a BMW Genius?
A BMW Genius is an expert that you'll find in the BMW Centre or online that can tell you everything you need to know about a BMW. So they're there with you before, during and after you buy a car. Even if it's as simple as a question such as pairing your phone to the car or actually deciding which BMW suits you best, that's what they're there for. And the big difference between a Genius and anybody else in the BMW Centre is that there's no sales pressure. They're not salespeople. They're just there purely to help you out.
Well, you'll be helping me out today, thankfully. I'm very happy to have you by my side. Now, we have got to talk about this stunning new 5 Series. I mean, we're talking about the design, really, today. What's the biggest difference?
I think the front end is an enormous difference from the previous model. The 5 Series was already topping its group tests, and so this 5 Series has got a great start in life. Particularly, the kidney grills are larger than before, and met for the first time in the 5 Series by the LED headlight. So it gives a very striking presence on the road.
And it's so iconic, that kidney grille. I love it that it's now been integrated with the lights. It looks absolutely stunning. Now, I also know that that spacious interior is very luxurious. So I'm going to go and check that out, and I'm going to leave you to have a look at the exterior of the car.
Yeah, let's get comfortable. So these kidney grills incorporate active airstream technology like the 7 Series. So these flaps here will remain closed when the engine is cold. They'll open when it's warmer. But in doing so, that manages airflow over the car as well. So efficiency of the 5 Series starts right here. Now, as I mentioned, we've got these LED headlights. These are the adaptive LEDs. As you can see, they're quite iconic with the Corona ring design. And being adaptive, they will follow the curves in the road, as well as selectively using its high beam to illuminate the road ahead. If we look slightly further down the car, we've got the air curtain here. Now, this is where the efficiency starts at the bottom of the car. What this works to do is manage the airflow around the wheel arch to keep it really linear, to avoid any unnecessary aerodynamic drag. And actually, as we come here to the air breather, this channels the airflow alongside the car. Hi, Nikki. You comfortable?
Hi, Dan. How's it going?
Yeah, very comfortable in there?
Oh, unbelievably comfortable.
You look cosy.
Yes, I could go to sleep in here.
Airflow is channeled along the car, up the lines, and you'll find the traditional BMW Hofmeister kink here, which, with a coupe-like roof, really emphasises the car's sporting credentials. Now, I'm going to join you in the back there, Nikki.
Excellent, do. Well, I can assure you that there is plenty of room in here. I mean, you could fit your whole family and your neighbours in here.
You could, there's loads of room, absolutely loads, yeah.
How is it so much spacious? 'Cause, I mean, it weighs, it weighs 100 kilos less, doesn't it?
It's
than the last model?
100 kilos, yeah, which is a phenomenal amount. One of the reasons the interior is so spacious is the iDrive display that's now freestanding in the middle of the car. So it means that that upper dash is lowered, and you can see it's accented really nicely by the ambient lighting and that multifunctional instrument panel, which is all standard.
And the dash, the fact that it's been lowered, it also feels like it's sort of angled towards the driver as well, which was, it gives that sort of feeling of being, in a cockpit of a race car.
Exactly that, yeah. It's always, every BMW is always driver oriented, so you've got a real commanding feel of the car on the road.
Love it. Now, let's talk about this ambient lighting. So we can see it glowing blue at the moment, but I believe there are up to 11 different settings, is that right?
That's right, yeah. There is all different colour combinations. You have green, lilac, bronze, orange, and that, yeah, so you can really personalise your car to whatever you want it to be.
A colour for any mood. Now, what colour would you go for? If you're going for a romantic drive, you and your car, what colour would you go for?
I like the blue that's going on at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice, like an evening blue, midnight blue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Matches the colour of the car.
Excellent, love it. Now, the other thing which I really like about this is the electric seats, because it has this memory setting that it remembers particularly how you like your seat setting up, because it's so annoying when you get into the car and, you know, your mum's driven it or your brother's driven it and they've completely changed the settings.
Yeah.
Whereas you have that worry no more.
No, absolutely. You've got 2 buttons on the side of the seat, so you can program yourself as number 1, of course, and whoever as number 2. So it means when you get in the car, the touch of a button, the seat will return to its positions, and the mirrors, and the steering wheel column as well. So
wow.
it's straight back to your
really?
position.
So it's not just the seat, it really is the whole setup of the car to fit you.
It is, and even if you keep the, say if you use one key and your partner or mum uses another key, just by using that alone, the car will realise that's your key. We'll even go back to your radio station you last had on, the air conditioning requirements.
Okay, now this is clever.
So
now
it really
I'm
does
liking
remember you.
it.
Yeah.
That is brilliant. Yeah, so will it even choose the radio station that I prefer?
Yeah, if you leave it on, it will stay on for you.
Great. Now, one of the other things is it smells amazing in here. The leather upholstery just smells divine.
It does, and leather is standard in all 5 series,
wow.
so that smells guaranteed. But also you've got, as optional, is ambient air package like the 7 series, so you can choose a fragrance to come through the car to just enhance the leather, really.
Great. What's your fragrance of choice?
I like the green sweet. It's like fresh cut grass.
Oh,
it's
how great.
not suitable
Wonderful.
for winter, but we're nearly at spring. So
we are,
yeah,
indeed.
exactly.
Now, on that note, we have a few questions that let's go and talk outside.
Okay.
But as we do get out, we need to enjoy how wide these doors open.
They're fantastic, and as any parent will tell you, that just makes life so much easier when you're getting kids in and out of the car, and of course child seats, because they're the bulky items. So it's just ease of access.
Absolutely, it's brilliant. Now, thank you very much for all the questions that we have had in during this session. I am going to now put Dan to the test to see if he really is a BMW genius. Dan, we've had a question from David Allen from Facebook. He asked, will there be an M Performance part for the car? And if so, what?
Yeah, M Performance accessories will be available from launch, and these will be styling accessories, so you'll have such things as...
Now, I'm very excited because we are standing next to a car that is considered the most innovative car in its class, and once you get to know it, see how much tech and innovation really is there, you understand why it makes that claim. And it has won, not one, but 2 What Car Awards already this year.
It has,
Tell me about that fantastic achievement.
Fantastic start. The car hasn't even launched in the UK yet, and we've been awarded 2 really prestigious awards. So we've won What Car's Luxury Car of the Year, and the 5 Series has also won the overall Car of the Year for 2017. So what better start could you have? It's well deserved.
Wow, what a fantastic start to the year for this car. And it was an interesting start for me for this year. I went to CES, the Consumer Electronics Show out in Vegas. It's where everyone talks about the latest trends and innovations in the car industry. And there was one word on everyone's lips, and that was autonomous. Everyone's talking about it. Just tell me about the semi-autonomous functionality of the new 5 Series.
Yeah, the 5 Series, if you opt for Driving Assistant Plus, that's where the semi-autonomous features are brought in. So they're great for just relieving stress on a long motorway journey or heavy traffic situations.
Well, I do love my cruise control, because it really does, you know, if you're doing a long journey,
Yeah,
I'm driving all over the country, doing long distances, and having that cruise control does take the stress away. But this is taking that to a whole new level. Tell us more.
That's right, yeah, you can get the 5 Series with active cruise control with stop and go functionality. So, as you say, you set your speed like you would with a normal cruise control, but the car in front is monitored, and if that car slows, you slow. If it speeds up, you'll speed up, so again, to your desired speed. The great thing about that in a traffic jam is if that car stops, you'll be brought to a safe stop, and when it proceeds, you'll follow.
Wonderful.
So yeah, again, really takes the stress out of
So
it.
it really does. I mean, yeah, the stop-start in a traffic jam really is a nightmare. But as well as, I suppose, making sure that you're always a safe distance between the car you're in and the car in front, what other safety features does it have?
That package brings in lane keeping assistant and active side collision protection as well. So the car will keep itself in the lane. So again, it's an assistance system that just for any momentary lapse in concentrations helps out. And it's monitoring the area around itself as well. So if you are getting close to other cars, again, it will just take slight evasive action to move you away. So again, that peace of mind.
It will remind you. And what about taking your hands off the steering wheel? Is it true? Can you do it?
It's true. When you use active cruise control and the lane keeping assistance from that package, when they're working together, that's where the semi-autonomous element comes in. So the car will drive itself on the motorway, where you can take your hands off the wheel up to 30 seconds. So you still need to be in control of the car, but it's for those momentary lapses of concentration where you just need that extra security that the car can take care of the driving.
It's amazing to see that technology is now already on our roads and will be available to buy. Now, speaking of all this wonderful technology, when can we actually take this 5 Series for a test drive?
February 11th. It'll be in the retailers, so that's when you can start driving.
Less than 2 weeks away.
Really soon, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, cannot wait. I hope I can get myself on the list. Wow, look at this. Now, the first thing you notice when you get inside the car is bigger screen than ever before, isn't it?
That's right.
Is it touchscreen?
It is, yeah.
Genius.
Yeah, it's a fantastic system. It's the latest generation iDrives, ID6. And as you've found...
There we go,
really
there
lovely.
it is. That's what I was waiting for, because this is quite new, isn't it? Having this digital cockpit looks absolutely stunning.
It is, yeah. Again, a standard equipment on the 5 Series, and that interacts with your driving modes and any other infotainment requests. So, you know, as you cycle through, say we've got to sport mode, you've got...
Instantly turns to red.
Exactly, it just foregrounds the important information. And again, if you
Do you instantly turn into a racing driver? Do you have the driving ability of a racing driver?
Do you?
Well, when it turns to red, of course. I instantly become Michael Schumacher. Now, tell me about the other ways that you can interact with the car.
So there's 4 ways, actually, you can interact with it now. So you found the touchscreen, and we've got the traditional iDrive remote down here. But this 5 Series has the latest generation of voice control.
Okay.
So with a button on the wheel, you can talk to the car quite freely. You don't need to follow regimented or set commands. You can do pretty much anything you would normally do with the system by hand. So again, a great safety feature to not have your eyes diverted from the road.
So so I could go a bit more advanced than just, you know, take me home. What could I say?
Yeah, you could just shout the name of your favourite restaurant, and it will find the nearest one and begin guidance if you wanted.
Okay, I'm looking forward to testing that out.
And then the 4th element of it, which is my favourite, is gesture control. Now, if we turn the screen off, actually, probably better if you do it there. This sensor here...
Hang on a minute, what just happened then?
Exactly.
You just pointed and it switched off?
Yeah, this sensor here for the driver monitors this area. So if you use that gesture, turn the screen back on, really good, isn't it?
Wow.
There's another gesture where you can turn up the volume of your media or down, just with swirling of your wrist and one finger.
All right, well, here goes.
There we go.
I can hear. Oh, we've got some beautiful orchestral music playing. And
Perfect.
Down again.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you can use that while you're driving.
Exactly,
Brilliant.
yeah. Really, really good.
Now, there's one thing that I always do on a long car journey is I tend to forget my phone charging cable, which is very frustrating.
Right. Yeah, as today,
But you've got a solution for that.
I have, because I've
Tell
done the
me.
same. My phone, I forgot the cable. As always, thankfully in the 5 Series there's a wireless charging tray, so just pop your phone in there. You don't need any wires, and that'll charge.
And we all hate wires anyway. They always get in the way. They look
messy, aren't
messy.
they?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that just fits away quite nicely in there.
Brilliant. Now, I've also spied that is the display key.
It is. Let me take this phone out. And yeah, the display key, we talked a little bit about that before, didn't we? So it's got the usual functions on here of lock, unlock and boot release, but it's got a display here that's not too dissimilar from a smartphone display, actually. And this you can see if the car's locked or unlocked, so if the windows are open, service requirements, if you left any lights on, range.
So no longer do you have to have a sleepless night lying in bed thinking, have I locked the car? But it's too cold to go outside and check.
Or worse still, if you've flown to another country or whatever.
It still will work if you're in another country.
It'll remember what condition the car was left in, so you can see exactly what's going on.
Very impressive.
So, yeah, really
That's
useful.
going to be extremely useful,
Of course,
isn't it?
like a smartphone though, you do need to charge the key. The battery life's good, but
you can charge it in the car.
Yeah.
When you're driving all the time.
So you just pop it in the pad there, and that'll charge, and forget about it for now.
Now, tell me a little bit about the remote control parking, because you know, some people that might live in cities or just even have the luxury of a garage, but if it's a tight garage and you don't want to kind of knock your door and dent your door on the way out, it has this incredible parking
It is. It's
capability.
remote parking. Yeah. So if you option that on the car, you get a little button just here, which if you hold that, you could drag the car in and out of a parking space. So as you say, a tight garage. You don't need to be in the car. You can stand outside of it, so you don't bang your doors against the walls getting in or out. So I mean, if you have a new 5 Series, you wouldn't want the doors to be dented.
You definitely would not.
So really
I'm just dreaming of the day when I have a garage. I don't care what size it is. But, you know, one day. Fantastic. Now, the other thing about this is the heads-up display, because I believe that's bigger than ever before as well.
It is, yeah. Head-up display is 75% larger than the previous generation. It's that bit crisper, and because we've got more features and more information in the car, it can deal with all of that. So you can use your radio, your media, your music streaming services, phone book, navigation. Even when you're assessing your cruise control and distances, it's all done
right in front of me.
So
I mean, you literally don't have to take your eyes off the road.
Yeah, exactly that. So
That's
again,
brilliant.
a great safety feature as well.
Gosh, I'm feeling very safe in this car. It's probably the most important for me, probably the most important for you. It's really the reason why I think we all love BMWs so much. We all share that in common, is because we love how it drives. So today is all going to be about the driving dynamics. Now, has the new 5 Series maintained all of those features that make the 5 Series so fun to drive?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the main features is the 50-50 weight distribution. Having rear-wheel drive as standard as well makes the car really dynamic. BMW, for every car, chooses the optimal drivetrain setup. Like all the previous generation 5 Series, that's been rear-wheel drive, so nothing's changed here, so we've still got a really exciting car.
Fantastic. Now, tell me a little bit more about the rear-wheel drive that I know we both love.
Yeah, when you couple that with 50-50 weight distribution, you get a really well-balanced chassis, and it feels like the car sort of wraps around you. You really do feel in command and at one with the machine. I suppose, you know, our aim is to make the ultimate driving machine. So, in the 5 Series, this is the best setup. It's fantastic to drive. It
Good.
really is.
Now, as well as the rear-wheel drive, this actually also comes as an all-wheel drive, which BMW used the term X-Drive. Just explain to us what that actually means, X-Drive.
X-Drive is a system that drives all 4 wheels, and it can distribute power within a tenth of a second to either axle, and up to 100% of the power as well. Now, the great thing about X-Drive on the 5 Series is this is the first time we've been able to do it in the UK. So really great that we're able to offer that now. So you've really got the security in all weather conditions.
And have you had the opportunity to test drive it? Because I have, and it is amazing.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It really works
so good.
well, yeah. Yeah, it does.
The other thing that's brilliant about this car is the steering. You know, you always feel so connected to the road with the steering. Tell us, is it more advanced in the new 5 Series?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, the steering in any BMW is always full of feedback and a really nice weighting to it. That's compared with comfort as well, if you do longer journeys, which the 5 Series is likely to be doing. But yeah, you're right, the 5 Series does have a technology that's class leading. It's integral active steering. So as you make normal steering inputs with the front axle, the rear axle automatically will turn with or turn against the front axle, and that depends on your speed. So say at low speed, having the rear axle turn against means that the car feels like it's on a shorter wheelbase.
Yeah.
And that means it feels a lot more agile, helps with parking, definitely helps with navigating around multi-storey car parks that are quite tight, because the whole car sort
we
of
all
turns
need help
with you.
in those multi-storey
Yeah,
car
we do.
parks. Yeah, definitely I do.
And at high speed, you've got that extra stability, so you've got a bonus at every speed. Really
So
good
with
feature.
you've got active steering. What about the active suspension?
Yeah, there's an adaptive suspension option, and that works with the driving modes. So in comfort and sport, the adaptive dampers change in their firmness. So that helps the car deliver you know, a more sporty feel and really a lot more feedback to the driver in sport, so you can really exploit the grip if you wished. It's a great system to just have the combination really, and it brings in the new adaptive mode on the drive performance control, which we've seen in the 7 Series only yet. Now that works out how you're driving, so if you are driving in a more spirited manner, it will you know, firm the dampers, sharpen the throttle response. Even the automatic gearbox will be a few gears lower, so you've got optimal revs for acceleration.
So it responds to your driving style.
Yeah, so if you're more sedate, it will be more sedate with you. So works really well again.
Now, It's very clever inside and outside of the car. But can we talk about the actual, you know, the twin power turbo engines? Something that a lot of the 5 Series feature.
Yeah, every 5 Series will feature that. In fact, every BMW now features a twin power turbo engine. And the main benefit there is all the power and drivability that you'd expect from a BMW, but the efficiency element that you may not expect with that amount of power it can deliver. And that, coupled with high precision direct injection, Valvetronic and Vanos, means you've got all the efficiency, loads of low-end power, torque, which is a real crucial thing for the road. And then if you do exploit the rest of the rev range, there's loads of power.
That's what we like to hear. Now, talking of power, we've also, which you can see here because of this power charge, it's high performance, which is what BMW refer to as their hybrid electric plug-in vehicle. What are the actual benefits of being able to plug your car in and getting electric power?
The benefits from electric power are quite obvious if you're buying through a business, because that means your CO2 and fuel consumption is improved massively. This car emits less than 50 grams per kilometre of CO2, so if you're benefiting kind tax, that's the lowest bracket currently available, which is fantastic.
And you can sleep easy at night, knowing you're doing something for the environment.
Yeah, exactly. But as you know from your experience, an electric motor and a combustion engine, well, that's a great
it's a great combination
pairing,
for going fast. 100% torque. And I mean, how many miles can you get out on the pure electric range?
Pure electric will be about 29 miles, so it's ideal for city driving if you want to run emission-free, or even say a work commute, maybe the office and home, for instance. You could do that purely electrically because it can drive at motorway speeds.
That's perfect. And how long would it take you to charge up to get that 29 miles?
On a 3-pin main socket, only a few hours to top it up. So,
wow, that's very impressive. Now, we should also talk about this car, the very new touring model. Similar features, but obviously visually quite different, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, as we've discussed in the previous episodes, all the features in the 5 Series and its drivability, the touring has as well, but from the rear door really back, that's where it differs in the body. It's a lot more practical than the saloon, not that the saloon was ever impractical, the boot is enormous. In here you get 570 litres of space.
How many litres? 570?
If you drop the rear seats, that expands to 1,700 litres of luggage space.
Gosh, well, you could put you could pretty much live in there, couldn't you? Small family?
You could, yeah. It'd be ideal, wouldn't it?
Do you take your surfboards out? Are you a surfer? No, you're more of a golfer, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And how do we actually get in? Because I was playing around with this earlier.
That's right, you found that, yeah.
I love the fact that you can just pop the rear window to have a look into.
It's really handy for just
so
dropping
easy for your shopping.
Luggage in. And this blind is electronically controlled as well. So as you might notice, as that opened, then will close again for privacy when you shut it.
And then let's see it in its full glory. You know, we should do it justice.
Yeah. So the powered tailgate is standard on the touring model, as is the window that opens there.
Just look at it. I could sleep in there.
And these parcel shelves can actually be stored under here quite happily, so it means it doesn't need to clutter your house.
Very nifty. That's what we like to hear. We don't like clutter in our house.
No.
Brilliant.
If we should see with the back seats down as well, really, that 1,700 litres is enormous. And if we just flick the switch here, they'll drop down nice and easy.
I was not expecting you to do that. That is genius, because getting the back seats down, it's not that easy sometimes. No. It's really inconvenient. But just the touch of a button.
You use that, the shelves just slip out quite nicely.
And then once again,
and that's it.
The touch of a button, it goes back down. Well, Dan, thank you very much for giving us a bit of an